रिकॉर्ड जब करोगे तो बताना।
स्टार्टिंग
पूरा एक्सटेम्पोर देना है मतलब।
मैं रिकॉर्डिंग स्टार्ट हो रहा है कि नहीं? टाइमर टाइप का चलता था। रिकॉर्डिंग चेक 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 चेक, रिकॉर्डिंग चेक 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 चेक, स्टॉप रिकॉर्डिंग, पॉज रिकॉर्डिंग। ठीक है, स्टार्ट करते हैं। ओके, तो डीडी आज हम लोग बात करेंगे इंडिया ऑस्ट्रेलिया सीरीज पे। अभी अब पहला मैच तो हार गए हम लोग, जो कि एक्चुअली में जीतना चाहिए था। एडिलेड में 50-55 रन का सीरीज, मतलब फर्स्ट इनिंग का डेफिसिट काफी होता है। मेरे को लगता है 150-200 भी इंडिया बनाता तो अच्छा प्रेशर बन जाता। 250 तो कोई सी हालत में ऑस्ट्रेलिया नहीं चेज कर पाता फाइनल इनिंग में। एनीवे, दैट असाइड, तो रेस्ट ऑफ द सीरीज अभी हम लोग कवर करेंगे। एंड यू आर हियर एज एन एक्सपर्ट, आई एम हियर एज अ नॉन एक्सपर्ट, even though I am also expert, but I will maintain that distance. तो डीडी कल का मैच के लिए कुछ कुछ चीज है। पहला तो फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट ऑब्वियसली इज द टीम सिलेक्शन। तो टीम देख लियो तुम?
हाँ, टीम तो हम देख लिए हैं एंड one surprise, I would not say it's a surprise, but reading the reports, I was expecting KL Rahul to be in the team. I understand his red ball form was not up to the mark, in the previous series, but given the confidence he has reached in especially the white ball format in both T20 as well as one day cricket, I would have preferred him ahead of Hanuma Bihari, without any disrespect to Bihari, because he has also played pretty well in the chances that he got. But otherwise I think बढ़िया टीम सिलेक्शन है, कोई ऑप्शन भी तो था नहीं. Which Shami out I think is a bigger loss for us, because वो run of play में हो गया वो incident with Ishant out. So my only worry with the team is that it is heavily dependent on Cheteshwar Pujara.
ओके,
अगर तुम 2019 का सीरीज का पहला टेस्ट अगर तुम देखो, उसमें भी हमने इंडिया ने आई थिंक
253 बनाया था शायद,
ऐसे कुछ बनाया था। उसमें भी पुजारा का एक 130 और था, राइट? लेकिन एक्सपेक्टिंग पुजारा टू स्कोर इन एवरी इनिंग्स इज आल्सो not correct. Although he has the ability to score, but वही है कि if openers can give a little bit of decent start, I think we are in for a
okay. तो एक एक करके डीडी हम टीम सिलेक्शन पे तुमसे पूछेंगे। तो पहला द $1 million क्वेश्चन इज दैट कि जो ओपनिंग पेयर है, so no questions on Mayank Agarwal. I think Mayank Agarwal has done enough previous series and the series after, and now obviously across formats also. So I feel that he's a safe bet. Or agar Mayank Agarwal, if he plays about 50 balls, so he will also score on decent pace pe. So I think Mayank Agarwal selection is totally justified. Coming to Prithvi Shaw. Now Prithvi Shaw has been your preferred रेड बॉल ओपनर, जिस पे आपने बेट किया है कि अभी हम लोग इसको रखेंगे पूरा. Now the so-called technical deficiencies that we are talking about, do you think it is too early for the team to drop Prithvi Shaw? Because अगर जो technical deficiency है, this is not something which is new, which has been identified of late. It was always there. All of us knew that वो side on खेलता है, पैर leg stump की तरफ जाता है, he's in swinger पे उसको problem होगा, hand eye coordination है, and things like that. But it is also true that Prithvi Shaw, if he plays for 2 sessions, God forbid, then the match is away from the opponent. That is also true. And I think इस impact quotient को लेते हुए ही, and I think learning from what Sehwag did for Indian cricket, they would have brought in Prithvi Shaw. Now, without giving him fair chance, because if I look at the last test match, I will not hold Shaw accountable. Every batsman was a failure. Every batsman was a failure, except in the first innings where Kohli played well, a bit of Rahane and then a bit of Pujara, but these three are your established batsmen. So now, given this context, how fair do you think is dropping of Prithvi Shaw and then bringing in Shubman Gill?
देखो इसमें दो तीन चीजें हैं, मैं एक दो लैटरल चीजें भी बताऊंगा यहाँ पे। एक कॉन्ट्रेरियन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू लेते हैं। आई माई सेल्फ वॉज इन द फेवर ऑफ ड्रॉपिंग पृथ्वी शॉ, राइट। नाउ एक कॉन्ट्रेरियन व्यू ये है कि अगर मरवन अत्तपट्टू का अगर तुम करियर देखो, उसके 4-5 शुरू में सब डक्स थे, बहुत सारे डक्स थे उसके, राइट। उसके साथ परसिस्ट किया गया, राइट, एंड देन ऑफ कोर्स ही बिकेम द प्लेयर दैट ही बिकेम। ऐसे हिस्ट्री में बहुत सारे प्लेयर्स होंगे। नाउ द पॉइंट इज we are now in a stage where a lot of decisions are driven by impatience. Hamara desire to get results is much more. Plus, with social media coming in, everyone has a voice to opinion, and that also plays in, right? Prithvi Shaw is a precocious talent. उसमें तो कोई doubt नहीं, right? Now the point is, तुम वीरेंद्र सहवाग की बात बोले, expecting Sehwag to play like Dravid was not possible. Sehwag could play only like Sehwag, right? वो अपने footwork ने जैसा था वैसा ही था। अब the point is, the only difference in Prithvi Shaw's case here is that there are people who are in the queue and in the team. You have 3 people possibly waiting to replace Prithvi Shaw in that position. Rohit Sharma once he is out of quarantine, KL Rahul, and Shubman Gill. With 3 people behind your back, plus Rohit Sharma was an original choice in the last test series, right? वो injury नहीं होता तो वही होता. With Prithvi Shaw going through that ban, unfortunate ban of whatever for doping reasons, and if you saw his performance in the IPL, of course IPL is a very different ball game, but I'm talking about a body language, psychological performance. He's absolutely short on confidence. उसका जो catch drop है, that is also in his mind. If you see his body language, it doesn't suffice, or it doesn't show that to be a confident person, and he's only 21, mind you. Now, given this situation, I don't know whether Shubman Gill will score a century on debut, right? We don't know, but such has been the reaction overall, and I'm saying that even I, in my discussion with friends and other things, have said that no, Shubman Gill should be there. The challenge with Prithvi Shaw is that he has so many people waiting to fill that position, which may not be the case for other people, right? And now, because you have options, and in the practice match, Shubman Gill also played a very nice match, innings and all. So I think, the best way for Prithvi Shaw to come back would be, I think I've seen that Tendulkar has talked a little bit about improving his technique and all of those things. It's a combination of his ability to score runs at the first class level, as well as his mental, ability to.
Okay, understood. So basically, the point which I'm trying to make is that all these things, they were in public domain of knowledge even before the first test match started. The practice matches where Shubman Gill played really well, those practice matches also happened before the first test match. So then if you really had to take this decision, basis compactness, basis recent form, basis the state of mind that Prithvi Shaw is going through, etc., etc., possibly you should have dropped Prithvi Shaw straight away, and you should have played Shubman Gill instead of just giving Prithvi Shaw one match and then chopping him. No disrespect to other batsmen, but also the deliveries that Prithvi Shaw got, they were good deliveries. I will not say unplayable, but they were all good deliveries. And I think he was not the only batsman who was found out on technique. Each and every player, at least in the second inning, they were found out on technique. So I have, so the point is that obviously Shubman Gill, basis his recent form, technique, compactness, I would have rated him higher. But then I would not have chopped and changed so much, only because Prithvi Shaw is a newish kind of a player, and to replace a newish player without actually trying him out completely with another newish player is something which is unfair, what I felt.
You are absolutely right. But the point here is, imagine I'm giving you a different situation. Imagine this was the first match of a World Cup we're playing in Australia, and Rohit Sharma was out like this, or any say Shikhar Dhawan was out like this, or even imagine Sachin Tendulkar in the 90s was or 2000 was out like this in a Test match. Would you have replaced him? No, right? Because he is there. He's set in the team, right? That position is his. Tendulkar at 4 and Dravid at 3 are set until they retire. But Prithvi Shaw at 1 and 2 is not.
Yeah, exactly. So my point is that, so tomorrow in the second Test match, the follow-up question is that if Shubman Gill also gets out, will you replace him for the third Test match?
That is how it is. Now, what is Riddhiman? I know I was one of my very, very close close friends who is also at a in the cricketing domain itself, and we have had very friendly banters around Rishabh Pant. And I finally told him that I agree, perhaps Pant should be there. Now, my logic was that given the fragility of our batting, Pant, a 30 or 40 from Pant can change a match where the bowling sides of both the teams are actually good. That was for the time when Mohammad Shami was there. But what has Wriddhiman Saha done to be dropped, right? He's also done nothing else. He's kept tremendously. Of course, he's not a batsman like a Dhoni or a Pant, but he is definitely, by pure keeping standards, if one of the best, if not the best keeper in the world.
Yeah.
So I don't know what will happen. But again, in the third Test, you have Rohit Sharma coming in.
Basically, yeah, what I feel is that it has been more of a knee-jerk reaction. Possibly they would have seen Prithvi Shaw playing in the nets as well. हो सकता है कि वहाँ पे भी उसका ball middle नहीं हो रहा होगा. And basis that, then they would have possibly, and I'm hoping that they would have had a conversation with him, saying कि Prithvi, you're not in the middle of a good streak right now. So why don't you take some time off, spend some more time in the nets, spend some time with the team, and meanwhile, let's try some other people out. And it's absolutely fair कि अगर nets में possibly if he's not in the best elements, there is no point carrying on with him, because then it can also crush the confidence of a really, really good young player. So it is good to sort of, and I'm really hoping that the management has really pulled him out from this angle, rather than from this angle that suddenly we have realized that, there is a technical deficiency that you carry, because I think that was quite evident even when he was playing the Under-19 World Cup, that he stays side on of the ball and then he opens up the offside, like he will square cut in swingers as well if they're short of good length, just like Virender Sehwag.
Yes.
So that's the kind of batsman that he is. So I'm just hoping कि उस हिसाब से उसको draw किया होगा. Now that the second question which I have with you is that when you have, and it is more from an overall selection of the Test team of India, last 3 or 4 years I thought have been a big missed opportunity for India in Test cricket. Even though they have won some good series, but it is one big missed opportunity for India only and only because with the kind of bowling that India has had in the last 3-4 years, they should have won each and every Test series. Most of the Test series losses that India has suffered abroad, it has happened because of batting failures. And I will say that kahin na kahin, India has failed to groom some of its really well-established batsmen and use their confidence in the longer format. And the point to which
ये point पे एक सेकंड आप होल्ड करो. मैं आपको ये point का एक बहुत important connotation समझाता हूँ इस Test series में that you said, right? You failed to groom. Now imagine a situation. What is the ideal Test team for India?
Yeah.
The ideal Test team for India in India and in abroad. Okay. You have Mayank Agarwal at 1. You possibly have Rohit Sharma at 2 because he's now a regular in the white. In the red ball. You have 3 at Pujara, 4 Kohli. 5. Rahane has not been playing that great, but okay, we have Rahane at 5. Then comes 6. Was a question between Saha and Pant, and it had say either of them. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. In India, 7 and 8 will be Jadeja and Ashwin.
No doubt.
Ishant, Shami and Bumrah completes the quartet. Now when you go to say an Australia or an England, what happens in the order? The possible replacement could be adding a fourth bowler in
seam
a
department,
pace bowler, and keeping Ashwin or Jadeja, right?
And Didi, isme bhi na, like when we travel abroad, I would like to like bifurcate into two different kinds of abroad trips. One trip would be the like of Australia and say.
वो सेना बोलते हैं ना हमको, साउथ अफ्रीका, इंग्लैंड एंड न्यूजीलैंड एंड ऑस्ट्रेलिया.
मैंने स्विंगिंग कंट्रीज अलग कर देता हूँ. इंग्लैंड एंड न्यूजीलैंड लेट्स कीप असाइड, बिकॉज यहाँ पे क्या है कि आई फील दैट.
बट आप ऐसे नहीं कर सकते हो. आपको हिस्ट्री में कोई भी सक्सेसफुल टीम को उठा के देख लो, उनका कोर टीम वही रहता है.
What I'm saying, Didi, is that if you're suggesting a couple of changes, and just hear me out, is that abroad maybe na nature of pitches, it has changed dramatically over the years. So for example, Australia has become excessively batting friendly is what I feel, as compared to what it used to be in the yesteryears. Now in today's time, agar England ko dekhte hain ya New Zealand ko dekhte hain, so these are out and out like batting nightmares from a pitch perspective, from a condition perspective, and these are also the kind of pitches jahan pe ki front foot play is more there, as against back foot play. Whereas South Africa, Australia, these are the kind of pitches jahan pe aapko thoda strong back foot player jo hai zyada matter karega. So I just wanted to bring this perspective in, because I've been observing is that in England and New Zealand especially, the Indian batting has crumbled far more as compared to a South Africa or Australia. Agar South Africa mein hua hai, then even South Africa has crumbled against India, and India has also crumbled against South Africa. It was because pitches were that bad. So now that we have this perspective, over to you.
So what I was saying is that now imagine the situation. So you have the Indian bowling lineup, which is a standard. You can bring in a Hardik Pandya depending on his fitness, and so those are separate discussions. Now what happens is, with Virat Kohli gone, right? With Virat Kohli gone, you will bring in somebody, but Kohli will be back for the next series, right? So whoever you bring in, assume that person performs, and then that person again is dropped for eternity. You not only waste a talent, but you also end up kind of creating a system where, you know, the confidence of the player is gone. You know, once you're say suppose somebody comes at 4 and he plays, he say 2-3 century maar diya, ab to usko kaise drop karoge? Then what will happen? You will then chop and change the opening order, and that is how the whole teams crumble. Now the point is, if Prithvi Shaw has been dropped and Shubman Gill fails, and we've decided that we will persist with Shubman Gill, we should persist with Shubman Gill, even if he keeps on making 2, 3, 4 failures.
Now,
because
my next question to you is, do you think Shubman Gill is a long-term opening batsman, or Shubman Gill is your future number 3 or number 4? And therefore, from a grooming perspective, should he be groomed as an opener to be transcended into that number 3 or number 4 position, or should he be groomed at number 6 to be elevated into the number 3 or number 4 position?
It depends, you know. I think he has the technique to survive the new ball and also play the new ball.
Absolutely agreed. But the way, I mean, 5 years down the line, at least basis potential.
5 years down the line, are you seeing a Cheteshwar Pujara and Virat Kohli playing for India with their fitness level?
No, I don't see. I don't see Cheteshwar Pujara playing at least 5 years down the line. Possibly Virat Kohli will take a break because of the fact that he wants to, because there is so much to do and stuff like that. So let's say that Shubman Gill possibly is your next number 4. Like after Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli became your next number 4. After Virat Kohli, this is potential. Shubman Gill should be the next number 4. Maybe we will be proven wrong or right. That is for later. But as of now, I feel that Shubman Gill is India's next number 4 in Test cricket. So uska grooming as an opener hona chahiye, ya as a number 6, number 5 middle order?
Then again the question is, why is KL Rahul not playing?
So forget KL Rahul for the moment.
अगर आप फ्यूचर की बात कर रहे हो तो फिर you have to also consider who is the opener.
I don't think that KL Rahul is ever going to make as a number 4 in the red ball squad, because KL Rahul and Virat Kohli, the age difference is not very much. By the time Virat Kohli will retire out, of number 4 position, KL Rahul would be in his 30s.
वो ठीक है, but you can't think too much of the future. आपको तो present में टेस्ट सीरीज भी जीतना पड़ेगा ना.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying is that if I had to take a risk,
I don't know. I don't mind. But the point is, at least in one day cricket, you say that your best player should be batting at the top, right? And if Shubman Gill is perceived to be the best player that we will have in the next 5 years, the other question is,
why I'm making this
what does Shubman Gill want to do?
Yeah,
right. See, that is also another point, right?
My other point of view is this also. I also feel that India's tail, the head of India's tail, it basically is starting at number 6 these days. Because Hanuma Vihari is a compact player. He plays and he has played some good innings. But he is yet to kind of score the big runs that your number 6 can possibly score and turn the matches around. So for example, the kind of quality that VVS Lakshman had, and obviously it's unfair to compare with Lakshman directly, but then still number 6 is a very, very agile position in test matches. Depending on the situation, either you will consolidate or you will counter attack or you will defend for your life. So while I see that Hanuma Vihari is a good defensive player, is very compact, plays very close to the body, but then eventually you also have to score runs. And if you look at the record of India, and I was just doing a little bit of data digging, I realized that Hanuma Vihari and below also the runs that India has basically accumulated in abroad series is not really that high. Okay, so if I include the number 6 with the tail, the average does not really go that high. So my question is that when you have high impact players like Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, why are you not playing them at number 6? You're not playing them right at the top, but why are you not playing them and not utilizing them? And this basically goes to my previous question, and nothing against Vihari, he's a good player. But then these are the guys who have faced these international bowlers so many times. They know, I mean, if Rohit Sharma plays for 100 balls, he will score 60-70 runs. He can hit 5 sixes. Test matches, ODIs, T20s, it doesn't matter. So the kind of impact, at least अगर वो 5 innings में 2 बार भी click करेगा ना, that is fair enough for me in terms of runs.
So by that logic, Prithvi Shaw will also click in maybe 5 match में. वो हम लोग कुछ ज़्यादा चिल्ला रहे थे कि यार इसको drop करो, नहीं खेल सकते यार. He is a precocious talent.
You should have given him full series to bomb and then said कि Prithvi, you don't deserve to be here.
उसका problem तो तुमको हम बता रहे हैं. हमारा perception ये है कि when there is so many people on the line knocking your door, plus with the kind of media and social media pressure that you have to psychologically cement your position before it has been cemented.
So basically now I am coming to a position, say, where I am saying for me, I agree कि format specialist और ये सारा चीज होना चाहिए. Hanuma Vihari has been around for quite some time now. He's not a new bird anymore. Hanuma Vihari has been around at number 6 since the England series.
आप मुझे एक चीज बताओ, आपने हनुमा विहारी की बात बोला, मैं आपको एक प्लेयर के पास ले जाता हूँ. आपको याद है इंडिया के लिए एक प्लेयर खेलता था, जयंत यादव, some period.
I know. सेंचुरी भी किया था, विकेट्स भी लिया था इंग्लैंड के अगेंस्ट.
I still don't understand how he
and then he got
dropped from the Indian test team and went into the wilderness, right? So it's a different thing. We haven't found a replacement for VVS Lakshman. We will never find, perhaps, in our lifetime. But I personally felt that KL Rahul should have been in the team, given by his KL Rahul is a genuinely a talented player, and at that position of 5 and 6, he will also be a useful.
And maybe a lot of people have forgotten, but KL Rahul actually started out as a purist.
And he was an opener in England, right?
Yeah.
He was an opener in England.
KL,
So
KL Rahul is a classical. He started out as a classical technically right batsman, the kind of player who later broke into the T20 white ball mold. So he was people would compare him with Rahul Dravid given his compactness, technique, etc. in his early days. Now things are obviously different. But if your player is so confident, then does format actually matter so much is the question. And is India actually missing a
I
trick?
don't think so. I don't think so. I would have put KL Rahul in my team, even in Test match number 1.
Now, I mean,
Now,
imagine Didi, if Nathan Lyon is bowling to Hanuma Vihari, okay, versus say Nathan Lyon is bowling to KL Rahul or a Rohit Sharma.
yeah, any
Pressure,
day, you know the answer.
pressure needs to be
You
on
know.
Nathan Lyon also. You cannot let Nathan Lyon bowl 20 overs on a trot to a
नहीं
guy
कर सकते हो.
who defends really well and is very compact. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Because you need just one ball which will bounce off the pitch and it will take the wicket. Na? So that is a different discussion altogether. But अगर आप when you are, why are we doing this analysis? अगर मूल तत्व क्या है? India has to win. That's what we want, right? As supporters of the team. Now, if I ask you a question, why did India win the last series? Right? Or why has been in India good? It is because of their bowling, right?
Yeah,
now
absolutely.
You imagine the fact that out of our 4 world-class bowlers,
2 are not there.
2 are not there.
And even, for example, Hardik Pandya, who would give you good 10-15 overs in a day on a pitch like Australia, even he.
I would say that Jadeja would give that, but again, how much the pitch will support him, or how much the ball will grip, and all of those things are there. But the point is, in reality, we are playing Australia in their backyard with our strength being half.
And I also feel is that I completely agree that sometimes you have to do some quick fixes to make sure that it might not be aligned to the long-term strategy, but then in the short term, that possibly is the best thing to do, right? And I also feel that if Shubman Gill, I'm sure that Shubman Gill must have been playing notches above what Prithvi Shaw is playing right now even in the nets, which is why he's been given the chance, right? So, which is absolutely fair. Shubman Gill, I also feel, is a better backfoot player. He can pull, he can hook. He doesn't really have a problem, against the short ball and stuff. So that is absolutely okay. And I also felt that in absence of Shami, you would need the workload of the faster bowlers to be distributed over 2 spinners rather than 1 spinner. Otherwise, remember, it could also harm the potency of R. Ashwin, because R. Ashwin, basis his performance in the first test match, he has emerged as the wicket-taking option for India.
Maybe that is absolutely correct. And also, if you look at the number of right-handers in the Australian team, I think Jadeja is a brilliant addition. Yeah. Plus, his batting has increased tremendously well.
And the fielding goes without saying.
Fielding, so anyways, is let's not go into
Jadeja is a per test match 100-run package overall.
Correct.
आराम से.
नहीं, अभी the point is हम क्या we did whatever best we could have done with the options possible.
I feel Didi, what India has done is that they have safeguarded against the losses that from a resource point of view, the losses that they faced, they have safeguarded themselves against those immediate losses. So एक बड़ा batsman गया विराट कोहली. So what they did is that Prithvi Shaw was not performing. So they took him out. They brought Gill in, hoping that Gill will score at least 20, 25, 30 runs more than what Shaw would do. Okay. Kohli, of course, irreplaceable damage. But what they did is they brought Saha out, thinking that on pitches like Australia, possibly keeping is not a very critical skill as compared to England or a spinning track in India, right? Which is why they brought Saha out, because keeping is his critical skill. And then they rebuffed Saha. Saha plus Kohli combination would have given you about 80, 90 runs, right? Let's assume. What they have tried to do is that they've tried to recreate this using Jadeja, who will also give you a few overs, and also he will give you 30-35 runs, hoping. That's the assumption. And obviously then there is Rishabh Pant, who obviously we will agree that his batting will be rated above that of Saha. At least when he's batting, people will be scared that he can hit 3-4 sixes anytime that he wants. So that's the sort of, I feel, that little bit of a safeguarding that Indian team has tried to do.
But again, they also have to realize that if you look at this quartet of Australian bowlers, it's an absolute. I don't know. I don't have the perfect adjective, perhaps, but it's a beautiful combination, right? On the one hand, you see the replacement. You have Hazelwood bowling a line similar to what Glenn McGrath used to do. You have Stark attacking at you always, and once one of them is replaced, you have Cummins, who is not for anything ranked the #1 bowler in the world, right? He'll make you play every ball.
Yeah,
right?
I feel that Cummins is their best bowler right now.
Yes, Cummins is their best bowler. Plus, you have Nathan Lyon, who I don't remember seeing anyone after Graham Swan to give a classical off spinner's loop, as they say, right? He beautifully uses the loop, and you have 4 world-class bowlers in your. So you need a batting which can navigate this sport.
Absolutely.
And I don't think we have the batting. We have the batting.
Yeah, and we need to also
I'm absolutely happy to be proved wrong. Kohli, of course, Kohli's loss is.
I just feel that before India, I feel that before India, in the long term, not for tomorrow, but in the medium to long term, before India lose on the best years of Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul, they should find ways to make sure that these guys are a part of the test structure.
So they will be, na. So if you ask me what at this point of time with everyone fit, what is the ideal test team? So this is what it is, right? Rohit Sharma, Mayank Agarwal, Cheteshwar Pujara, Virat Kohli. Okay, KL Rahul. Shubman Gill. I know I'm saying a very unpopular thing by not mentioning Ajinkya Rahane, but
go ahead.
I have a different point of view on that. Rishabh Pant gets you to 7. Then you have Ashwin and the three bowlers.
Absolutely.
Right? That is my perfect test team.
Yeah, this is a perfect away test team for sure. In India, obviously, you will need another spinner.
In India, you will have Jadeja in by default, and you can even go with one batsman.
Yeah, you can choose to either drop a batter or a fast bowler. That's okay.
I will tell you something. Under the, Rahane is a very good batsman abroad and all of those things, right? But Rahane also, I think, has reached a stage where he needs to perform now. He only under the vice captaincy, hat, he cannot stay for long because there is too much competition, right? And somewhere he also needs to perform, and even if India loses this series 4-0, it's okay. But the point is that they should take out positives from it and figure out what is the ideal test team going into the series against England, home and away.
Yeah.
Right. Of course, home I know with all our advantages at home, England. I'm not too much worried about home, but going abroad again at England, if we don't have a settled batting lineup with Anderson and Broad and other people.
Yeah. Even the new fast bowlers of England, they're pretty good.
Yes.
Even the new fast bowlers are very good. Yeah. All of them are really, really good. One last question, Didi, before we close, is that what's your prediction for the Boxing Day Test match? What do you think? Because it is going to be a good batting pitch for sure. It's going to be a drop-in. So your prediction?
One thing is for sure, I think 36 will not be repeated. But I'm going for an Australia win.
Okay, Australia wins.
Primarily because of their bowling, because it's a bowling that always comes at you. It's a bowling, and I am absolutely. I'll be the happiest person on earth to be proved wrong. But the whole question that we need to see is that what if the changes we made don't work? If they don't work, then what do you do in the third test?
Do you make changes again or do you carry on?
Yeah. Do you carry on? Right. What happens with Rohit Sharma? What happens with KL Rahul? Because you can't play a series with. I understand Virat Kohli is a forced change, Shami is a forced change. But when there is no forced change, you have to maintain a stability in the team.
Yeah.
So in Sydney, I'm not sure whether the test will happen because of the COVID situation there. Because if the test doesn't happen in Sydney, then again it shifts back to Melbourne, I think. Yeah. And I think Melbourne is a pitch where the deck is hard and all. Cummins will come. Cummins and Hazelwood will become even more.
It's a drop-in pitch, but it doesn't really deteriorate these days so much.
I think the first hour will set the tone if India is batting first. And Steve Smith, mind you, did not do anything in the last test.
Because everything that needed to be done was done by Indian batsmen.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, just before we kind of close, if you go back to the Adelaide test of 2003-4, where Rahul Dravid.
Yeah, the 500 plus. 500 plus.
500 plus. If you remember the first innings of both the sides, for all practical purposes cancelled.
Yeah,
in fact, scored a huge
double 100. So, Australia was in fact 26 runs ahead of India. This is first.
Correct. We won because of Ajit Agarkar and that good bowling spell. Tendulkar also took some wickets.
I also feel we won that test match because Australia thought that they cannot lose.
That's a different thing. But the point is, as Ravi Shastri, I think famously said, half an hour cost us the match. I think this half an hour, it was inexplicable how we.
Yeah, I agree.
But sometimes they bowled a brilliant spell, right? You can't.
And I think we will pick it up. We will pick it up in our next conversation. But these one session or 1 hour, losses, they are becoming too frequent for India, especially abroad.
In South Africa also it happened.
It has happened everywhere.
Yes.
And let me collect some data, and in our next conversation, then we will pick this up. Why is this becoming a trend? And if this is a good enough excuse for India now, because it can happen once in a while, that's okay. Even Vernon Philander ran through Australia, like Correct. He was bowling against club cricketers, right? But if it happens every tour, every series, then there is a problem. So that's the food of thought that I leave you with, Didi. And
sure.
So very thankful to you for coming in. And then,
it's a pleasure always, And yes. Boxing Day is something that whichever team plays the Boxing Day Test match, it's a
absolutely.
It's a feeling of waking up early in the morning and
I agree, with a cup of coffee and still shrunk in your quilt, and then watching the Test match from there.
Absolutely. Looking forward and just hoping that we if we bat the hour before lunch, and mind you, David Warner still is a huge loss.
Oh yeah. Yes. Australian batting is as brittle as a crisp biscuit of straight out of the oven. So
yeah, because David Warner can change a match within hours.
Absolutely.
So
batting is very fragile.
So let's hope for the best, and we'll look forward to catching up with you again.
Absolutely. So let's do it.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.